So before we get started with this week's episode, I just want to have a little, confessional here with Rob and Chris, and possibly the listeners as well. Had a bit of an incident this morning while I was making breakfast. I dropped a knife on my foot.
Oh.
Yes.
Damn.
I know that there is a big anti-croc contingent out there.
Okay.
I'm going to say that the knife actually went through the hole.
Unfucking believable.
Not that the croc didn't fucking protect my foot. It's that I legit landed it. If you look at my toe right there, I
can see it.
I fucking, like an Olympic athlete, dropped the knife just right so that it went into the hole, into my fucking toe. Now, when this happened, I was making breakfast for my daughter, and it just happened. I'm like, you know what? They may have been right, but you know what? I won't be proven wrong. I will continue on my journey of Crocs.
Wow.
And get it to work.
See, you could literally apply that philosophy to anything.
I could.
They may be right, but I won't be proven wrong is literally what every asshat has said since the dawn of time.
You know who you're talking to, right?
I'm talking to the people that incarcerated Galileo for life.
All right, I don't think I'm that bad.
Apologized last year.
Yeah, exactly. Nice going, church.
I just happen to like comfortable shoes and sweet sandals. Comfortable shoes, sweet sandals, and some fucking pretty killer eyewear.
I'll be honest. If someone said, like, you are going to get into a knife fight and there is nothing you can do to get out of this.
Okay.
There would be a lot of questions, but once I skipped over that, I would not suggest making armor out of Crocs. I don't expect that of Crocs.
Yeah.
So when you tell me that Crocs failed to protect you from a knife, that to me is not the fault of Crocs. Crocs are in them, in and of themselves a problem, granted for me, but still, I don't blame them for not fending knives off.
Yeah, that was never their job to begin with. That's not what they are for.
Well, I was kind of hoping that if
Tis
it
not
just
what
hit
they
the
do.
Croc material, it would have just bounced off because the strength of the Croc would this totally like the slow blade penetrates the shield, the knife off of there. But
The strength of 10 flip-flops at
I mean,
least.
it's possible.
My aim apparently was all too well and just went right into the hole.
Was it just like a steak knife?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I mean, steak knives aren't like...
No, but
they don't weigh a lot either, so they probably would have not have gone through it.
No, but it went through the hole and it got me. Welcome to the Cryptonaut Podcast. I am Mark Stores, and with me as always is...
The hissy Chris.
A hissy Chris. I like it.
Right
Sweet.
on.
And...
Rob Morphy.
Thank you all so very much for joining us, and thank you for indulging my confession / fuck you, I'm still wearing Crocs. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, I'm glad for both, and I'm glad your foot's okay, most importantly.
No, I didn't know I stabbed myself fully until I took it off, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, it's blood.
Oh, so it wasn't like a screaming fuckball of profanities that your poor little girl had to endure while Daddy stomped around the kitchen with a knife sticking out of his Croc?
Bad. No.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wish for you to have been in that kind of pain, but that kind of scene makes me laugh.
Yeah. No, it didn't get that bad. Patreon's the thing that we offer, Robert.
Sure as shit is.
Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Get yourself signed up there. $1 and the $5 tier. The $1 will get you the one bonus audio and the shout out. The $5 tier will get you the no more than 4 bonus audio and the shout out. Access to the Discord all around. Robert, let's do these shout outs. Good, sir.
It would be my pleasure.
Well.
West Virginia Vegetable Man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just straight. It's so matter of fact that I'm actually considering that this might be it.
Yeah.
I hope we get all the states vegetable men.
I know.
And women.
I don't want to Minnesota's Vegetable Man is not somebody that I'm going to turn a blind eye towards.
No, totally.
Yeah. Mark Nemaz.
Thank you, Mark.
Mike Cockhurts.
Yeah, he got in there again, that goddamn Mike.
Mike.
Painful penis.
Mike Cockhurts. Okay, there it is.
That's your $1.
Kristen Grant.
Thank you so much, Kristen.
Harold Carrar Jr.
Hell yeah, Harold. Thank you so much.
Spencer, quote, Mark, don't listen to the haters. The pities are sick. All hail the Viper. Long may he reign. Ferguson.
Fuck.
Okay.
Yes.
If you mean sick as in not well, then I agree.
Yeah.
Hey,
boy, you got a mad dollar's worth out of that one,
dude. When that came through, I saw the name. I'm like, I didn't read. I'm like, Spencer. I see Mark. Don't, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh man, that's fucking great.
The pities are sick.
Pities are sick.
All hail the Viper.
All hail them fucking Vipers.
Hey, there you go. Justin Whitaker.
Hell yeah, Justin Whitaker. Thank you.
Dark He Rodan. Dark Herodin? Dark Herodin.
Yeah, it could be either of those.
Dark Herodin. Yes.
I'm going to go with that last one.
Okay.
And, usually I read these before. Clearly, that was not the case this week.
It's okay.
Scientific Tiz.
Hell yeah, Scientific Tiz.
Or no, I think I fucked it up.
it's Sci-Fanatic.
Sci-Fanatic. Yep, see, there it is.
So.
See, I can't. I just can't. But I'm going to try. And here it is. Sci-Fanatic Tiz.
Thank you, Sci-Fanatic Tiz. Also, we have one here, too. Brianna. Thank you, Brianna.
I think it's Brenna.
Oh, I totally skipped Brenna. Oh, my God. What is wrong with us? I mean, granted, I am on enough fucking cold meds to put down a horse right now.
I'm so glad I'm
but
here.
Jesus Christ.
And I also think it's Kirsten Grant, not Crystal.
Oh, God, I'm done.
I just let it go, and I'm just like, I'll get there at the end.
Technically, Chris just made the corrections for us.
You're right. Cursed. See, that's why. There's no excuses. I fucked up.
Okay,
I ruined Patreon for all our patrons.
No, I think Chris corrected it, and I can't.
Yeah, I think we're all good now.
Yeah, I can't read. It's okay. The listeners appreciate this. When they get a little bit of behind the scenes of Mark can't read, Rob's on a lot of drugs.
Teachers just passed Mark through school.
And Chris is disappointed in us. It's okay.
I'm
it
sitting
happens.
here disappointed.
Yeah, it's okay.
My cock hurts.
Yeah, every week he's coming. We're going to have to shut him out, apparently.
All righty.
Thank you so very much for your Patreon contributions. We appreciate it so very much. So this week, this is fun because we are getting into the fucking time of the year where I shut my year down after Halloween on the 31st.
Yeah,
we've talked about this.
That's true.
I live from
It's
July
the
4th.
darkening.
July
It
4th
is.
to Halloween, and then everything's shut down and nothing matters anymore. But we are getting into the fucking ooky spooky paranormal time of the year. Obviously, our favorite time of the year. So this week, we are going to be taking stories from Ghosts in Print, an assemblage of spirits, spooks, and specters from newspapers of old. Now, this is a book that was compiled by our good buddy, Mr. Adam Benedict from the Pine Barrens Institute.
Yepers.
In the description of this podcast, we will have a link to this book where you can buy it. I have a copy. Rob has a copy. We all got copies.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
It is great.
And
And
also-
let's not forget his original book, too, Monsters in Print,
Yes,
which
Monsters
is still a
in Print.
gem.
Yeah, if you're gonna grab Adam's books, and everyone should be, definitely grab these two together because you're going to get the crypto end, you're going to get the paranormal end. It's fucking awesome.
It's a nice 1-2 punch, and Adam is just this like extraordinary archivist of arcane articles. Like he really digs deep, does the research, presents it, and then just, and then we're here to interpret it. And so, like Mark said, getting into that kind of autumnal vibe, we're going to dive in. I just grabbed a couple of random articles. We'll just wing through it and hopefully have a good time with this. And thank you again, Adam, for, first off, all your hard work and your great research and giving us access to this wonderful archive.
Yeah, for sure.
No, totally, definitely. So let's get started with, are these tales proof spirits walk among us? Or are these nothing more than recorded instances of practical jokes that went too far? This collection of over 200 plus articles, direct from newspapers of the 1800s and the 1900s, brings some of North America's strangest, most unique, and truly unbelievable ghost encounters out of the past and into your hands. That was the intro of the book that Adam wrote that I'm reading in my excited, creepy voice.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
a
I know
little
what you-
like crystal meth keeper.
Dude, look
Creeper.
at when you're high on crystal meth and you got Adam's book and you're outside the local Wawa, it's okay.
That's what you do.
It's a good time. Everyone, I want you to turn the lights down wherever you are at work, whatever you're doing. Turn the lights on. Get weird. Get creepy. Make it dark. Get in the corner, fetal position, hopefully.
Yep, get in the
Curl
corner.
up and get fucking scared. And Robert, let's do this.
Indeed. The first story that we are going to broach is under the title, A 10-Foot Ghost. Simple, but there's a good life lesson here.
Okay, cool.
There's
man.
themes. This comes to us from the Pittsburgh Dispatch, July 28th, 1890.
Oh, good year.
Yep, obviously from Pennsylvania. And the subheading is now making its home, the 10-foot ghost, now making its home in a Buckeye cemetery. A bold young man attempts to brave the spirit, but retreats in confusion. He will not go outdoors after sunset since. So when you see some shit that keeps you indoors after dark, of course, I don't know. I mean, I know some electricity was around in 1890, but it was probably pretty fucking dark by and large outside.
Yeah.
You gotta use like oil
Some
lanterns
oil lamp
and
bullshit.
shit. Yeah, totally.
Murder a whale, light the street. You know,
it's fine. It happens.
Okay. Hamilton O, July 27th. What is claimed to be a genuine ghost has made its appearance here. The apparition has been seen in the Boudoir burying ground, French, in the First Ward by a number of parties. About a year ago, the grounds were put into the hands of the city council and an effort made to convert them into a park. I think we're going to see a trend that was real popular in our childhood. The grand old trees that had stood for a century and shaded the tombs were cut down, and the grave mounds were leveled to the earth, the stones being carried away. The grave was robbed of its once solemn beauty, and the hallowed associations of years disregarded. Day after day, the graves were torn open by the plow, and the rotting bones thrown promiscuously upon the ground. God, I love
this is
old-timey
worse.
journalism.
These people give no fucks.
You're plowing the ground, clearly knowing there's bodies beneath, and you're like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know why
it's perfect Pittsburgh accent.
Yeah,
yes.
I went right back into Nantucket next,
That's right.
into the Kennedys, but still, all right.
So yeah, I mean, if Poltergeist taught us nothing, granted in 1890 that lesson had yet to be learned.
You just think common decency.
But you'd also think like you'd have even more reverence for the sanctity of hallowed ground. That's the whole gosh darn point of burying the dead. Now, I might think it an absurd thing that, you know, you waste good real estate. I mean, I love a cemetery. I love hanging out. I love the
I know what you mean.
Sculptural elements. I like the mood that is set, especially, you know, when you have like that autumnal vibe and the trees are all gnarled and the dead leaves are rattling at your feet. I love the whole Halloween accoutrement.
Of course.
But I also think it's a fucking primary waste of space that fucking really could be better used for whatever else. That having been said, it is hallowed ground if you are of a religious, perspective. And just tearing that shit up to turn it into like a family fun park, throwing the bones any old fucking place you want.
Promiscuously.
Yeah, especially then.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a bad plan, guys. Let's see where it takes us.
A few days ago, the plowshare turned up a tombstone bearing the inscription, quote, Charlie, age 12, son of Herman and Anna Carter.
Oh, bummer.
End quote. Oh, poor Charlie. Soon after this, rumors that were calculated to keep the immediate residents in the house after night were circulated, and some superstitious ones declared that in the old cemetery there were ghosts. A few evenings since, Joseph Myers, who resides on Boudoir Street, had a strange experience. While he was sitting in his doorway, shortly before retiring, he looked in the direction of the park and saw a queer-looking object appear. From the deserted Carter tomb arose a shrouded figure. It stood about 10 feet in height and carried a torch in its outstretched hand, making at times quite a brilliant light. In a short space of time, the figure seemed to rise up and glide toward the street. Myers was somewhat nervous for the short time. He arose, however, and walked across the street and pursued it for the purpose of investigation.
I love that. Well, that's rare.
Yeah, but
it's called The Undertaker. I guess I'm going to follow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dude, he's gonna fucking
floating with a torch.
He's gonna fucking dude. You're gonna get a fucking tombstone, dude.
People really gave no fucks back then.
Well, some gave a lot of fucks.
This guy apparently was like, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Zero
Not
fucks
according
on
to the
offer.
story.
All right,
no one gives fucks in the story so far.
That's fair.
Fuckless.
But before he could approach the mysterious figure, it suddenly disappeared. It is claimed that the spirits of the bodies that belong to these graves, which have been disturbed nightly, promenade the grounds. A young man residing on Park Street boldly asserted that he had no fear of any such thing as a ghost, and that he would fathom the mystery of the apparition. Last Friday night, he took a seat in the extreme eastern portion of the cemetery, or former cemetery, I don't know, is it just half plowed under now?
Yeah, I don't know.
To carry out his design. About midnight, the ghost arose before him, and he became so badly frightened that he started at a breakneck speed in an easterly direction, and on the following day was discovered hidden in a blackberry patch near Riley, some 12 miles distant from the corporate limits of Hamilton. Since this adventure, he cannot be persuaded to go outdoors after sunset.
He got the shit scared out of him.
He had some blackberries.
Yeah. No, I
mean, he
running
could
12 miles
eat, like
to the briar patch, but fucking
he
still.
should just live there.
I mean, at that point, yeah, I guess. Well, no, because he can't go outside after dark, so.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, he can't. Now he's just stuck inside.
He should have just made the blackberry patch his home.
He could have put like a little roof on top of it.
A little lean-to,
yeah, there you
know.
go. But he's outside after dark. Oh, ghost gonna get you.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna suck on your toes.
Oh, God.
I mean, just go home during the day.
It's true. You could.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long walk.
Hide in the
yeah.
butt. Eat blackberries during the night. Hide.
I wonder. Okay, so where does the story end up with us, Rob?
Oh, that story's over.
Oh, that was the story. Okay,
That's
excellent.
the full of the story. So I grabbed a random assemblage of things that I think would be good life lessons. The life lesson we're going to take from this one, life lessons might be strong, little tips that we can take with us, is you don't fucking willy-nilly fuck up a cemetery. No matter where you stand on it. Even if I think it's just decaying organic matter and some really cool sculptures, I still am not going to fucking advocate plowing one under.
Yeah,
You're
you're
asking for trouble.
I think it's a good lesson all around. Don't fuck with the dead, obviously. Vandalism isn't good, even if it's sanctioned, apparently.
Right.
Which is still, plowing the
Sanctioned.
dead is not good at all. And I'm on this. I think I've learned something today.
Don't plow the dead.
Don't plow the dead.
Yeah.
.com.
Leave the mounds.
Actually, don't Google "don't plow the dead" because you're going to get some real.
Oh, God,
you're gonna
yeah.
get some fucking real fucking sketchy video.
You'll probably find people advocating the exact opposite.
Yeah, there's definitely a subreddit for this that's probably in the middle of getting shut down, hopefully.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So there it is, man.
I'm still scarred by necromantic.
Oh, God.
Fuck
Jesus,
you, York Buttergrit, whatever your name was.
Yeah, God, it's awful.
Buttergrit. I'm sure I
God.
pronounced that perfectly.
Yes, buttergrit. So there it is, man. You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the graves, did you?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so the next story we've got emphasizes the importance of science in these spiritual matters.
Okay, good.
So often people want, this duality to exist in constant tension and contrast between spirituality and science. And in a lot of ways, it's necessary because they are antithetical. But in some ways, you should definitely use the scientific method to look deeper into what might be a spiritual science that just isn't recognized as such. And I don't know how often you can use spirituality. I guess maybe sometimes you can use Buddhist ideas to help with working out quantum physics if you just get so frustrated that you need something to calm your ass down. But by and large, they don't get mixed.
Okay.
Here's some dude, scientist, in fact, who attempted to do just that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Ghost Hunter, the title reads, satisfied man has ethereal body, will experiment on cat.
Oh, he's going to kill a cat. This ain't cool.
This comes to us from the Evening Journal, June 20th, 1922, Delaware. The place where abominations happen. If you're going to spit in the face of God, Delaware's your country.
Delaware's the way to do it, baby. All right, well, here we go.
Jack Darroch, United Press staff correspondent.
Wow, nice.
New York. All right, so I don't know why it was published in Delaware. Sorry, Delaware. I guess you go there to make peace with your deities.
Yeah.
My bad.
Nah,
New York is, of course, a place where you go to spit in God because you're a fucking
Well,
the
yeah,
kind of person
Sleepy
that does it. It's
Hollow.
New York.
I mean, our home state is where you go to do awful things. Yes.
June 20th. Convinced that ethereal bodies exist, Dr. Hereward Carrington. Hereward.
Hereward
Here, like,
Carrington.
as in come here.
Right.
Ward, I guess, as in
okay.
Ward Cleaver.
Okay.
Hereward
Hereward. I like it.
Carrington, noted investigator of ghostly manifestations, intends to photograph the astral body of a cat, he announced today.
Oh, it's just an announcement. Okay.
Oh, I feel like MIT should be starting this experiment again now.
Yeah. Jeez, it's not on cats. Christ.
This experiment will be conducted in the laboratory of the American Psychical Institute. That is a branch of science. That is
Psychical?
Yes. Psychic.
Wow. Okay.
Like, I mean, instead of psychological. Kind of like the difference between astronomy and astrology.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Right.
it seems tight on paper, and when you're a kid, you can be forgiven for not knowing the difference all the time.
I think we've actually talked about this institute before. It's ringing a bell.
There might have been more than one, but the American Psychical Institute might just have been the premier.
Okay.
Anyway, where Dr. Carrington works, among many strange machines and ingenious devices designed to help him probe into the unknown and discover whether spirits exist there. Dr. Carrington might be called a, quote, scientific ghost hunter, end quote.
Oh, boy.
We'll be the judge of that.
1922. He is investigating alleged spirit phenomenon with an open mind, but with scientific tools. And it's interesting because you're about to get a science lesson, boys.
Okay, let's do it.
According to present plans, the cat will be placed in a glass box just large enough to hold it. This box will be placed in another glass box about 5 inches larger. Dr. Carrington and his assistants will attempt to remove the astral body from the physical body of the cat by means of an anesthetic. The astral body will then pass through the first box as far as the second box, which will contain an atmosphere of water vapor. It is the theory of the researchers that when the cord which connects the astral body to the physical is broken, I didn't know we had cords, I guess like a spiritual umbilical cord.
Okay, I like it.
Death is the result. The air between the two glass boxes will be reduced. As the pressure of the air is reduced, it is expected the astral body will give off radiation, and if so, ionization will take place. That is, little electrical parts in the atmosphere will condense on the surface of the astral body like dewdrops gather on the grass.
The sad part is they thought this out.
They really
thought
There's
this
a lot
out.
of assumptions being made here.
But yeah, this is all, yeah.
But yeah, this isn't just like one cocktail napkin and like a pitcher of beer. This is like a few nights of learned men, wink, wink, fucking really thinking,
dude, right.
Oh, no, and then it'll ionize. But first you need your mortal tether to snap. So let's fucking not forget the elephant in the room, this being an adorable little cat. Dead cat. You must kill the cat for the cord to sever so that the electrical particulates of its soul, astral body, will have water condense on it. So you'll see like a little invisible damp cat.
I think it's just going to be dead.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just going to be dead cat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you'll see that too.
Oh, Jesus.
But that one won't be wet.
No.
So, I mean, thank God for small favors.
Yeah, really. Oh, awful. Science.
Well, let's see how this turned out.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I don't think the spoiler alert, the cat does not live.
This will, he continues, the article continues, I should say, will outline the astral body, according to Dr. Carrington, and will permit the taking of a photograph. The ultimate empirical truth.
Yep.
In 1922 standards, it must have truly been thought, if you can get a photograph of something, it is dead up science, fuckers.
Yeah.
Suck on that. And you know what? Long before Photoshop, I think certainly long before any of us were born, long before probably the vast majority of our listeners were born, people knew photos were bullshit. Those fucking Coddington fairies, all sorts of other shit.
Oh, sure, the ecto.
That cool.
Literally 2 days after photos, some asshole, some con man was like, "Oh,
we got this.
We're doing a thing."
The only real fucking debate is, Chris is absolutely
2 days
right.
after.
What happened first? The first pornographic shot or the first faked paranormal shot? Or did they happen within 2 seconds of each other?
Right.
You know, somebody had a camera and was like, quick, get a picture of my dick. And then like, quick.
Oh, wait. Make the ghost look like it's coming out of my dick.
Ectoplasmic dick.
Ectoplasmic jizz.
That definitely probably happened.
Okay. Dr. Carrington believes that the mysterious noises declared by many of the spooks and accepted by some scientists as spirits and ghosts are phenomena of the mind and body as yet undiscovered. I don't know how sound plays into this whole ionic ghost kitty thing, but whatever.
Okay.
By means of various instruments such as the chemograph, which records the pulse and respiration. Fancy. 1922.
Okay.
All right, so it's the letter S and then thonometer. So stethonometer. I'm just going to go with that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Dope.
Yeah, which registers the radiation of the body. Oh, I'm sure that wasn't a cancer-causing tool.
Not at all.
And the voltmeter for testing the pressure of the human mind.
Okay.
Okay, science.
Yeah, I'm in.
You might need to Google some of these, Mark, because the voltmeter, you think you know what that is. I mean, I'm no electrical engineer, but if someone says, I got a voltmeter, I'd be like, I can pretty much tell you what that's for.
Yeah.
The pressure of the human mind. Okay, I missed that barge completely.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like if you work like electricity and you have like a fluke meter, like a meter to test, like electricity, like what Chris uses, like what I use at like work. But you can't just like jam that in your brain hole and just be like, it's not working. I ain't got no electricity. Like I don't think that's how.
Or can you?
Oh, we haven't tried.
Wow, see,
I don't want to try it.
Science means trying.
Yeah. I'm not into science.
That didn't even rhyme. It wasn't even good. No one's going to put that on a poster.
That's pretty bad.
But it's still true. Science does mean trying.
That's right.
All right.
And finally, we have the Garanometer. Garanomer. I don't know. I always fuck things up because there's thermometer. We all know.
Okay.
But I sometimes want to call it a thermometer.
Sure.
Because it measures thermos, I guess. So sometimes I get caught up on that.
Okay, well, that's we're here for you.
Yeah. You ever do that?
All the time. I can't read. We established that in the Patreon shout-outs when I couldn't read a simple woman's name. It's okay.
Anyway, the Garanometer, whatever, is used to register delicate electrical changes of the body. Dr. Carrington hopes to determine the credibility of the mysterious phenomena. That's excellent. The chemograph, Dr. Carrington says, makes it possible to expose fraud in connection with spurious psychic manifestations.
Ooh, that sounds
This
fun.
instrument is placed under the arms of the medium. It keeps constant record of the pulse and respiration during the entire experiment. If phenomena occurs not due to the exertion of muscular effort, no violent changes are recorded. But if the medium resorts to fraudulent methods, violent changes are recorded and trickery is thereby detected. End of article. That's
So
funny.
wait,
At the very
who
end,
are they-
it's actual science. So it's like something that measures, like, like if they're like pulling out like horns and whistles and doing all sorts of shit. Like they put the rubber hand on the
Not
people to the
buttons
right,
and
left.
wuzzits and pulleys
Yeah,
and-
exactly. All that shit that made Houdini fucking lose his mind
Yeah.
during that spiritualist medium fucking
But
crackpot
who are
phase.
they using this on? The cat?
Well, no, I think
Is there a medium there?
I do believe that this story veered a little to the left at some point.
Yeah, they left the cat, and then they were talking
Because
about
now they're
the
talking
other.
about this thing that like
Yeah.
debunks mediums. I'm like, who's the medium? The cat? Are they debunking the cat to make sure the cat's not faking it? Is there somebody in the room?
Can you ever
What
debunk a
happened?
cat fully anyway? No.
No, I've been living with a cat now for a
I'm
couple,
pretty sure they can
couple of
astral
months.
project while they're living.
I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when they
hell
just
yeah.
stare at corners, they're fucking in the other realm.
They're projecting to Mars like fucking Dr. Manhattan, and they're just sitting on a rock, and they're like, Earth bores me. I tire of Mark and his constant up and down of the stairs.
They're pointing back to Ming.
yeah, they're from Ming the Merciless.
All cats are from manga.
That's true. That's true. And I think back to cats here.
Yeah, anyway, so-
unfortunately, I believe this cat may not have survived this heinous fucking
This
experiment.
cat was murdered. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, which is awful.
But where's the photos?
Yeah, I mean,
The photos that finally
I
prove
guess
once and for all.
if we take the time period 1922, they are making the attempt. I mean, they obviously don't have enough scientific shit behind them to be like, this is probably complete fucking bullshit. But they are using the time, the methods of the time. It'd be nice if they didn't have to use a fucking cat. To try to figure this out. So I'll give them credit for that. Obviously, sans any cat murder, because that's fucking awful. But at the same time, this guy's a part of the Psychical Institute of America. So whoever started that, good on you. Because I would have
Sure.
totally fucking joined him in a professor. And this like, Professor Howler Space fucking getting hammered
Sure.
with students and shit. So good on you, but I would like to know where more of the research has gone.
I'm sure the information's out there. I'm sure also that
the
plenty of animals die.
And I'm
but-
sure that
They should have a lot of files at the Psychical
Yeah.
Institute of.
Yeah, and maybe they actually were able to. I almost, I think I've actually heard of this tied to like Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
I think so, yeah. And I know I'm not getting it. I might be getting it confused with Ghostbusters, but I want to say.
You think?
Well, I mean, but his family was involved in this kind of shit for like years before that's why he wrote Ghostbusters, was because of
Right.
his family's involvement
sense.
in the paranormal. So
I know he's like a noted ufologist at this point.
Yeah, so maybe they has a tie to it. But so I think I'm going to say the lesson there, Robert, is that even though science might be trying, sometimes don't science.
Wow.
You like that?
That's it.
Sometimes
don't
science.
science. Sometimes don't. In other
if your
words,
processes aren't based on anything but something you think, that's not really science. Like,
yeah,
just
well, fair enough.
it's a process, but it's still a process based on a thing. If you're just like,
right? I mean, you're making
forget a box in a box, some,
With
like
a box.
nothing. That's based on nothing.
Well, I
mean, I
it is
guess-
based on a vague idea that you know how things react with ionized electricity, but you're right. It's not.
That's not a thing.
It's still
Or,
pretty. Like I wouldn't call that a theory. That's barely a hypothesis.
I mean, I guess really though, the only way that you're going to determine if it's real or not is to go through the steps of doing it, failing miserably, and then being like, it didn't
and
work.
unfortunately, like just entire species of animals, it seems to have been killed in the name of science for dumber and more noble things. I would say that as waste of a cat life as this absolutely is,
Right.
It still beats, I don't know, all the animals that died at the Mary Kay labs to see if that fucking rouge would
we don't
make
need
your
to do
eyes
that.
fall out of your skull.
No,
But that's grenades and fucking punji sticks. It's both horrible things that hurt and kill.
it's one to grow on. Don't hurt things. Don't kill things. And sometimes with science, just calm down. Pump your brakes.
Next lesson.
Take the cat out of all 9 boxes.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
please.
So this next one shows that there's definitely a place where cryptozoology can drift into parapsychology, but wrapped around a situation that is just fucking absurd.
Okay.
All right.
I like this.
Wife knocked out by husband as she plays town ghost role. So,
Oh,
without further ado.
no. Is this one of those viral videos where, like, you scare someone, they punch you in the face, you're like, oh, shit, it's my wife.
Except that it's August 21st, 1934.
Oh, boy.
And there were no viral videos.
Yep,
but
no.
yes, it's 100% that.
Not good.
Evening Star, Washington, D.C. But the actual events took place in Waterdown, Ontario on the same day. The Waterdown ghost, that's in quotes,
Okay.
was credited today with its first victim, and a woman who sought to scare her husband nursed a very sore head. Chief of Police Lovejoy said late last night, a scream of terror broke the silence of the village, setting jittery citizens a-twitter. Investigation by officers showed a farmer had gone to his pump to get water, and that his wife, seeking to amuse herself at his expense, had garbed herself in a sheepskin and yelled, "Boo." Didn't go so well. As he passed in the dark, the farmer promptly felled his spouse with a milk bottle he was carrying. She was not seriously hurt, we'll all be glad to note.
Yeah.
The chief said he expected a solution of the ghost scare would come within the next 24 hours, and that the ghost is not a practical joker. This is the actual ghost, not the wife. The actual ghost is not a practical
That's
joker.
a Scooby-Doo situation.
He added, however, that many of its appearances were believed to be the work of jokers. So maybe the core of it is real, but whatever.
Okay.
He warned that practical joking of that sort might end in some person being seriously hurt. Last night, the village was in a state of nervous tension. Doors were securely bolted and porch lights left burning. Dozens of men afoot and in automobiles patrolled the streets, but the apparition, variously described as a huge man-like being with long white hair and a large white beard and the head of a gorilla, were not seen.
Oh,
So-
shit. So
That's
you
just
gorilla.
that is like the Scooby-Doo twist. Like, so it's a big ivory ape. It's a long bearded Bigfoot. Maybe albino, maybe just old, maybe whatever.
sort of like, shit, what was that crypt that we covered from, like, Whitehall, New York? Remember? I can't think of the name of it now.
Well, there's the Murfreesboro Mud Monster, but that was in Illinois.
No, this is in Whitehall, New York. It was one that we did a while ago. It was
The one like on the border with Vermont.
I think so, yeah. It was a Sasquatch type. It was the big, white, huge, like, Sasquatch, which is kind of weird because normally, like, the white, Sasquatch was like Yeti or whatever.
Well, that's the trope, but
Or-
Yetis have
yeah.
never been described as white except in like
Oh,
fiction.
gotcha.
Or the Bumble.
Right.
They're always reddish or brown-haired like primate, bipedal primates.
So this is
but they're
kind of
not
interesting because it starts
white.
off with a ghost prank and then it ends with, oh, shit, we got a situation
What the
in town,
fuck?
folks.
Yeah, that one's kind of
Now,
crazy.
real quick, the ghost prank. The lady tries to scare her husband. Her husband freaks and fucking throws a bottle. Clearly, I'm going to assume not knowing that it was his wife.
No, I fully assume he thought he was defending himself from
Okay,
ghost monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
People still do that now. You go on YouTube and it's like there's
Oh,
a video
they'll
from
things,
yesterday.
yes.
I do it to my wife at least like once, twice a month. And I get so much shit thrown at me.
You actually dress up as a ghost?
No, I'll just wait to scare her, like if she's doing like laundry or something. And
Oh, yeah,
I always,
that's different then.
Which is it's fun. I got the kids doing it now. She's terrified. So
Bah.
it's okay. She's good.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so that happens.
But think about this. Apparently, there's a spate of sightings
Yep.
of what we would term as a cryptid. It's
Yeah.
just thrown under the ghost moniker.
They're just saying
but whatever.
it could be a ghost. Interesting.
And so this guy, all this tension is in the air. Again, we're talking, I think the 1920s. Who knows how much electric light is outside? He's pumping some fucking water. All of a sudden, he sees this ghastly white sheepskin come out of the blue. He has no fucking idea what's going
Right.
on. Hucks a bottle.
Yeah.
Hits his wife. Realize, sorry, Emily. Fuck that up.
Dangity darn.
Yep. But he was, who knows how terrified he was in that moment. But to me, the most interesting twist is when it's all said and done, this isn't about a ghost at all. Unless it's
no.
a dead Bigfoot.
No, it starts off that way, but then the guy even says, the police chief or whoever the police guy was, he's like, everyone's been seeing this ghost and everyone's scared. By the way, it's a big giant white ape.
Right.
Like weird.
But it could be a bunch of jokers.
Which is
Don't
even
be-
more,
don't
which
be a
is
joker.
even stranger because obviously people are going with it and rolling, which
Well, we were talking about the mill race monster back in the day. I mean, when something becomes a public furor, and now in the 70s it was a golden age in the 20th century, and so yeah, there was bound to be teenage pranksters,
Totally.
and idiots, and people that just wanted to go out and be excited. So if something startled them, they were happy to participate, regardless of whether or not it ended up being the real phenomenon. I don't know if it worked with quite the same media blasted fervor, 50 years previous to that, but it would still infect a small town psyche.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
people would
yeah.
completely be up in arms. And so I'd be really interested. I mean, maybe this is the only account that's been passed down of this thing, but it would be interesting to see what other people encountered and why indeed it's called a ghost. Did it like fucking manifest out of nowhere? Did it walk through a fucking wall?
Yeah,
or is
I
it
don't
just
know.
a misplaced name?
Yeah, and all the while you have people playing pranks and shit, and all of a sudden you have a real situation.
That's how you get knocked the fuck out.
Dude,
don't
I
fucking
know.
do it.
Yeah, dude, it's not good, man. I mean, everyone in that town just needs to calm down,
Relax.
just relax. Again, pump the brakes,
pump the brakes.
and just kind of be like, let's see what happens. And you know what's going to happen? Probably nothing.
Let's see.
But
what
that's
happens.
okay. We're just going to everyone take a breath. Everyone's a little bit excited.
See a ghost.
See a ghost.
See a
Could be
ghost.
could
Don't
be
throw a vase at it.
No,
Or
don't throw a
rock or whatever
vase
you
at the
did. Or
ghost.
clothesline it.
Yeah, don't tombstone the fucking ghost. Whatever you do.
And so the lesson in that one is, Mark?
Don't throw shit at people.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. At this point, I'm going to be like the worst teacher ever. When I really didn't have a lesson plan, you throw it to the student. So what did you take?
Yeah, you put the onus on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So tell me, what am I really
when Martin
saying?
Luther nailed it to the church door, what was he really trying to say? Ninth grade you.
Mark, continue to fail in front of my eyes. Thank you.
I'm setting you up to succeed, sir.
Okay, I appreciate that. At least somebody is.
Lynching a ghost is our next headline.
Okay.
The Pioneer Express, April 18th, 1890, North Dakota. A remarkable instance of superstition is reported from Orenburg during the funeral of a wealthy peasant. Well, that seems like a misnomer, but okay.
Okay.
The lid of the coffin was seen to rise, and the corpse proceeded to get out. The priest and mourners were so alarmed that they ran back to their village and locked themselves up in their huts. The corpse, who was feeling cold, in parentheses, as a corpse should.
Okay.
Thank you for adding that.
Yeah, get a blankie.
London Daily Graphic, who put this out, ran after them and succeeded in getting into the hut of an aged peasant woman who had not been quite so agile as the rest in fastening her door. The peasants, when they had recovered from their panic and learned where the corpse was, proceeded with guns and stakes to exorcise the ghost and killed him. The dead guy.
Re-killed.
So you're not exercising it, you're just stabbing it and shooting it.
And it's not a ghost.
It's a dude.
Yeah,
That
probably
apparently
wasn't dead.
wasn't dead.
Yeah.
But he's about
probably
to be.
probably just sick, and they thought it was dead.
Yeah, totally. No, we're definitely dealing with premature burial here.
Yeah.
This dude got out. He's probably pissed, a little discombobulated.
Yeah.
He's running, just needs a drink.
His
Who
fever,
knows?
his fever finally broke. He's like, I gotta get out of here. And then he's like, I'm fucking cold. And now they're all gonna just, oh, this is bad.
Now, you want the science of this? 'Cause
Sure.
it's about to be delivered to you.
Okay.
By the priest.
Okay.
As the source you want it from.
Excellent. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. When the priest had sufficiently collected his senses to explain the phenomenon of the ghost by the hypothesis of a prolonged state of coma and came out of his hut to rescue him, he found that the peasants, having laid the ghost, had thrown him into a marshy field. All right, now that's a bit of a clusterfuck of a sentence there.
Okay, a little bit, yeah.
What I'm gathering is that the priest came to the conclusion that he was in a prolonged coma and not actually dead.
So the priest is in the right path.
And by that point, the villagers had already re-murdered him and
threw
thrown him
him in
into
a
the
marsh.
Well, is he dead or did they just throw him in the marsh? They may have killed him, may just throw him in the marsh. He might not be dead. He might be still alive. There's hope for
All
this
right,
man
so
still.
here's a turn of
Don't put
phrase.
people in bogs.
Yeah, don't put
We talked
people in
about it.
bogs.
I mean,
This is 1890, and yes, we talked about the bog
yeah,
race.
they fucked it.
When he came, all right, so he had the hypothesis of a prolonged state of coma.
Yep.
The priest, I'm assuming, came out of his hut to rescue the man.
Okay.
He found that the peasants, having quote unquote laid the ghost,
They fucked him?
they laid the ghost.
Okay.
1890 laid the ghost. Maybe they gangbanged the dude and threw him in a marsh. That's a real possibility, I suppose.
I'm going to say probably not.
I'm thinking the quote unquote laid is a death beating.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Okay.
Whereupon he was thrown into a marshy field, which is slightly less moist than a full marsh.
Okay. All right. Well,
But still no good.
It's still connected.
We thoroughly broke that down. You are correct. The guy is more likely.
Yeah, no, he got laid.
He's murdered.
No, he was fucking presumed dead,
Okay.
coffinized.
Yep.
I don't know what you call it. Interred in a coffin.
Okay.
He's at his own funeral. He gets up. No one's happy to see him.
No.
He probably the peasant woman, because he was the wealthy peasant, however that works.
Okay.
Was
Yeah, I
like
don't
his
know.
mom or something. He's like, I'm back. I'm cool. But he can't talk. Why? Maybe his lips were sewn shut by some
Ooh,
shitbag embalmer. Who the
shit.
fuck knows
Yeah.
what was going on?
Okay.
And when the fucking priest is finally like, oh shit, Bill wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Comes out. Oh shit.
Oh, Bill is dead.
All right. So, can I give the breakdown for the science of the life lesson of science behind this one?
Class. Everyone pay attention to Mr. Stores.
Here we go. This is what I'm. This is my dissertation.
I'm in. I bet you it's going to include pump the brakes.
I'm going to exclude brake pumping from this and just say simply, all right, maybe you got to pump your brakes. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
I was ready for a whole thing. Just like, nah, pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes. So, okay. Hear me out here.
Oh, my God.
There isn't really one. This actually will. This back. I don't know if the exact time period, but there was a time where burying people still alive was an issue. So they had those bells.
The
and
bells, yeah.
They would attach them to your finger or whatever.
And it would go up a
so
string
it would
to a
dingle.
bell that was attached to your tombstone.
And it would jingle
nearby.
Yeah, it would dingle, jingle, jangle everywhere. And
Or
then,
every time there was a breeze, real foolproof system.
they're trying at least to
All right,
not
you're right.
bury people alive. Give them the respect and admiration. Because think about this: if you're that fucking dude that has to work that graveyard, your entire night is spent listening for people that are alive, buried. That you had to then dig the fuck up.
No, it's true. And by all accounts, that worked a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if
feel
it's
like-
I mean, what
apocryphal,
else
but-
really could you
I feel
do?
like
Yeah,
if this
but-
was 1815, this is the job that we would all meet each other at. Was like, hey, I'm Mark. I'm new here. You know, we start at midnight or whatever. What do we do? And then Rob's like, oh, I've been here now for 45 some odd years. I've found
Rob.
no one alive yet. Everyone's been dead. And then Chris fucking shows up. He's like, oh, I don't give a fuck. And then this is
That's
how
true.
we. This is how we
accurate.
Is the title The Night Jangler?
Yeah,
Is that when you work the
yeah.
midnight to
The-
6 Night Jangler
the Night
fucking
Jangler.
shift where you're just waiting? Breeze? Oh, raccoon? No.
meet. Yeah, because I mean,
That's a
Chipmunk?
problem. Like,
Fuck.
what happens if there's somebody if it is a breezy night? Every bell rings. You're like, well,
you got to
Well, fuck.
start
When every
taking
bell
everybody
rings,
up.
you have to dismiss it as just a breeze, even though there might be one in there
Right.
that gets
Yeah.
lost in the shuffle. But if it's that single bell and it keeps going, then you got to think, ratting on the corpse. That's what I'm going to tell you because I don't want to dig. You know I'm busy drinking bourbon, reading my Penny Dreadful, fucking doing whatever the fuck I'm
then
doing in
the
1890.
young upstart shows up with the pickaxe, and I'm like, we got to save that man or woman or whoever's buried in that box.
And you full on gates of hell them where the pickaxe goes through the coffin and you almost
Yeah,
fucking blind them.
Shit, they're dead.
So yeah, so we would have to have like certain things set up.
We have to.
Gonna come a night where like Chris has got a gig, and I have to have my bi-monthly whores night or whatever the fuck I would do in those circumstances where I get treated for chlamydia.
Okay.
It's not I'm actually having sex with
Yeah.
whores. It's just that I already did have sex with a whore and I have chlamydia.
Okay.
It's 1890s.
And you're clearly
And you're working alone
okay. Yes.
because fucking we're preoccupied.
Okay.
And you hear the jangle, and you got to go out into the darkness with your fucking lantern
Yeah.
and your pick. Are you able to do it?
I
or do you pretend you don't hear it because
No, I
the
show
horror?
I show the fuck up.
What happens if when you're digging the one hole, the grave 2 down starts ringing?
I start digging twice as fast as I have 2 people I got to rescue.
Man.
I don't fuck around.
I feel like.
do you document this though?
Wait, how many guns do you have on you?
Maybe
How many
couple?
blunderbusses do you have? Because it's what,
Wait, how
1890
much
or whatever?
chlamydia did I give myself again?
yeah. Your brain is rotted from syphilis.
Oh
so,
God, yeah. No, I'm done.
Fair enough. All right, Robert, why don't you
God.
bring us out on one more creepy tale or possible practical joke to entertain the listeners
I
with?
want to hear a story where we don't pump the brakes.
Okay, fine.
I want one that's gas. Pedal to the metal.
It's all gas. All right.
Horse
Cool.
cart's on fire.
There you go. Well, you know what, Robert? This one I want you to blow the doors off.
Oh, no pressure. That's great. Well, what you're going to get, and I don't know if it's going to fulfill any of the hopes you guys have, is an article that starts with this headline. This Wisconsin ghost has killed 3 fucking people. I added fucking.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
that's first gear.
Yep.
do it.
First gear, all gas.
Yeah.
Washburn Leader, March 31st, 1900. Right there on the cusp of a new century.
Let's do it.
North Dakota. The Ridgeway ghost, which for many years has been the terror of the community at intervals. I love that. So it's not
Intervals.
a nonstop onslaught of unmitigated horror.
Nah,
It's-
dude, you know why? Because it pumps its brakes.
Yeah, oh, Jesus
there you
Christ.
go. Then it goes full gas and
The pumpening.
There you go.
has been seen again lately by several reputable people. It has been hoped that the specter was laid forever. Now we know.
There you go.
When you laid something then, it was a whole other thing.
It was.
As no manifestations had taken place for some time. Within 20 years, 3 people have died as a result of meeting with this ghost. These were Dr. Cutler, a well-known physician of Dodgeville, John Lewis, a prosperous farmer, and the father of Evan Lewis, once champion wrestler of the United States. We had a United States champion?
I
What?
did.
I guess so.
He had
And-
intercontinental,
wrestling?
baby. The belt.
And a Ridgeway dressmaker. Oh my God, this
Jesus.
dude was farmer,
No
wrestler,
rhyme or
dad,
reason.
dressmaker.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
Oh, hero. It is small wonder that the reappearance of the specter has been the topic of conversation here for days past. 1 mile east of Ridgeway, on the old military road, there stood an old deserted farmhouse. For years a mere shell of boards, so shrunken and hardened by the summer suns that decay and worms never touched tooth upon it.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
So
Tooth.
dead. So dead the worms won't go in there.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
That's dank.
The
One
house
teeth.
stood until some men at noonday, when the ghost could not walk, tore it down.
Okay.
This was the one-time home of an old miser of the lead mining days. Oh, God.
Fucking misers.
Oh, you want to...
Suffering from lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Not a miser. He's just losing his mind because he's got big fucking Swiss cheese, whole fucking things in there. All right. Lesions in his brain, I might say.
His name? Whole Bean.
Whole bean?
Whole Bean.
Okay. Yeah, that guy's okay. Well,
Who had suddenly disappeared one night, leaving no clue as to his fate. Ghostly manifestations were at intervals reported as having taken place at the old house, but the stories of lights in the house and moanings at the roadside made little impression. It was not until the mining days were long over that the startling, inexplicable manifestations of the ghost were made. One night, as Dr. Cutler, a Dodgeville physician, as previously asserted, was returning from a visit beyond Ridgeway, which is 6 miles from Dodgeville, he was suddenly affrighted to see a dark figure sitting on the buggy tongue between his horses. That's something that means something to someone. The buggy tongue between your horses, I imagine, is some weird contraption that helps attach your horses to your buggy.
Yeah.
And it
Well, yeah,
looks
it's
like a
just-
tongue.
yeah, it's like the front, like past the axle, like the connector.
Are you saying that because you know, or are you just, this is an educated guess?
I've watched Frozen and enough Disney movies, I think, to educate my guess
Fair enough.
to say it was some weird thing sitting in front of the horses.
You're a buggy tongue expert.
Dude, you know me and my buggy tongues.
tongue.
So,
Because I'm going strictly by Frozen.
Yeah,
Because
no
I
doubt.
watch it all the time. So
poor Doc Cutler has
All
got
right.
a dark figure on his buggy tongue.
Ooh, but that guy,
Just out of nowhere.
yeah, weird.
Just-
Hey,
yeah.
hey guys, what's going
All right.
on?
What does he do?
The reins slipped from his nervous grasp, and the horses dashed away at full
Yes, they
speed.
did.
Oh shit.
The specter riding the pole. Oh,
The powwow.
okay, that just sounds so vaguely dirty. The bugger tongue, ride the pole.
I mean,
What's going on here?
all right.
It's like a fucking 12-year-old Hugh Hefner wrote this.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So, nothing discommoded him by the shaking he was getting. Discommoded.
Yeah.
That's a phrase that I need to have part of my fucking
How are you
lexicon.
not
That's
using
it's
that?
uncomfortable. I will never
Yeah.
use that word.
Discommoding.
Yeah.
I don't. It just.
You know, I was shitting during the earthquake. Didn't even get discommoded.
Yeah.
Came real close. Made
I
it.
stayed commoded.
Fully commoded. I want a commendation for this commoding.
Oh god.
Okay, downhill, up another. Dashed the frantic horses, and lo, the specter vanished.
Weird. So the thing just fucking shows up,
Sits
scares
on the buggy
scares the
tongue.
dude, and fucking that's it. Horses run, and there you go.
And then it just that's gone.
Could have been a shadow, but whatever.
Yeah, well, according to the story so far,
Okay.
I haven't read this yet, so we're going to find out what happens.
Oh, I see. So it's just
I read headlines. I picked headlines. That's what happened.
perfect.
The doctor's story of the occurrence met with little credence, but not long afterward, the reputation of the doctor received a sudden and terrible vindication. Oh, no. As he himself was later to vindicate it almost as terribly. All right. So I love old-timey language, but sometimes that becomes like a Gordian knot that's also a
Yeah.
Mobius strip.
Yeah.
It turns in on itself so thoroughly. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. John Lewis, father of Evan Lewis, champion wrestler of the United States,
As before mentioned,
known in the world of sports everywhere,
Nice.
all nations, all worlds, all galaxies,
All under God.
was a prosperous and respected farmer. All right, so wait, but the doctor didn't die, did he?
No, I think he just had his reputation was tarnished by some situation.
yeah, they didn't say he died.
Yeah, he.
Well,
they-
the
they-
Wisconsin ghost has killed 3 people is the headline.
Well, maybe
Right.
maybe it's three
And-
and one. One of them is 3.
Well, here's within 20 years, 3 people have died as a result of meeting with this ghost. These were Dr. Cutler,
So he did die. Maybe it was a,
how did he die?
Maybe it's
Evan
a
Lewis.
Maybe it's a foreboding. We could be
Oh,
doing
okay.
the
Maybe
father of
maybe
Evan
they'll
Lewis.
tie it together at the end.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Could be a Mothman situation.
Count on it.
Okay.
Almost certainly. Okay.
Okay, Hulk Hogan and his dad, fucking the
Yeah.
farmer. Let's go.
No doubt. A man of sober life, of undaunted courage, and blessed with the tremendous physical strength his son had inherited. This is the picture of John Lewis.
Okay. I like
All
it.
man, all the time. 16 years ago this fall, he was returning home after nightfall, having spent the day assisting a friend in butchering. That's what you do. Buddies cut meat.
John Lewis, man. Come on.
The night was not dark, and when he drew near the haunted spot, he determined to cut across the lots to reach his home. That's ballsy. He was approaching the stone wall at the roadside to climb it when his attention was arrested by the sight of a figure which seemed to have gathered itself together out of just now tenantless air. Oh, so the empty air now has tenants.
Yeah.
They're
Now it's a
ghosts.
thing.
It's going to get you.
That's fucking great. And stood confronting him in a menacing attitude. He knew of no enemy, and highwaymen were unknown in that retired quarter of the state. He decided that it must be someone trying to frighten him. So he hailed the figure, and no response being made, he advanced upon it. The figure did not budge, but stood towering, a shape of blackness, a gigantic and grisly thing.
Oh, no.
Some unaccountable awe and the uncanny hugeness of the thing made Lewis decide to avoid conflict. Good call. Mm-hmm. And drawing his butcher knife from his pocket, he started to pass by when the figure, raising an arm with a forbidding gesture, stepped athwart his path. Obeying a hasty impulse that was more of a ghastly and soul-chilling terror than it was anger, Lewis let drive his keen knife, only to find himself piercing the empty air.
He went for a stabbing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's John
he
Lewis.
he had a dope meat knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a wrestler. I mean, did give him a
No,
stone?
his son is a wrestler
Oh, shit.
of world renown.
Okay, well, this guy probably knows some wrestling moves. Just get him a
Oh,
stoner.
who taught his son? Evan didn't just learn it from the ether.
If you give
They
someone-
didn't have YouTube videos.
If you give someone on a lonely, dark road a stone cold stunner, you're fine.
There it is. In the morning, a neighbor found Lewis lying inside the stone wall in a semi-conscious condition. Of what happened after he had struck with the knife, he had but vague impressions. He said he had been hurled in the air as if in the vortex of a cyclone, pounded, beaten, crushed into insensibility. Beyond the pain and the awful fear, he remembered nothing with distinctness. That's a beatdown.
He caught a ghost beating.
Yeah.
I think I got caught in a tornado
or literally. Yeah.
Literally.
in his house, a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, it might have started as like a dust devil, and it
Yeah.
like rose up some like, I don't know, detritus and leaves,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, it's an evil specter. I'll stab it with my butcher knife. Just as the tornado touched down, whipped his ass around, slammed him into a brick wall, where he woke, lacking senses.
Yeah,
man.
and still alive.
He could have caught a ghost beating.
He died a few hours after.
All right, well,
Oh, hey, we said full gas. You
Yeah.
said full gas.
Yeah.
That's full gas.
okay, well, that's one. That's
Okay.
one death.
There you go.
Condolences, he at least made it home.
Okay.
So he got in
Well,
the
he died
comfort
at
of the
home.
bed
All right.
that he bred his wonderful, flawless wrestling masterpiece of a son in,
Okay.
I'm sure,
Excellent.
died there.
Okay, well, it's a good place to die if you have to die.
Or on the couch. He died in
One
his
of the
house.
two. He's in his
Okay,
house,
well,
surrounded by loved ones,
he
peaceful.
tried.
There you go.
Returning home one night, a dressmaker. By the way, I think earlier I accredited
You did.
that one guy with doing all these things because I don't think I read that as well
It's
as
okay.
I could have.
It's okay.
I thought he's a wrestling dad, a dressmaker,
And a doctor.
a doctor,
Yeah, it's okay.
a man's man,
We're all learning together.
a Renaissance fellow.
Yeah.
The dressmaker, no name,
Okay.
encountered the ghost, and being pursued by it, soon after died of the shock occasioned by the intense fright. At last, Dr. Cutler himself, seeing the ghost for a third time, I guess the second one isn't even worth mentioning.
Yeah, I'm like, what was the second one?
I mean, the buggy tongue, granted, that's the one that's going to steal your breath. but-
Right.
All right, so third time, finally and triumphantly vindicated his word, though at the cost of his own life. For, dying as the result of the fright, he became the third of the victims of the implacable specter of the old military road. This is Ridgeway, Wisconsin, Correspondence, New York Journal.
So the dressmaker just saw it and died.
Just died.
There's
That's
no
it.
story.
That's the account.
Yeah, he just
No.
saw dressmaker
this-
died.
Well, sometimes, as they said, I'm paraphrasing now,
Right.
because I set the book down. When you occasion upon the unknown, the side effect is death. Or
No,
white
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Or you
Sure.
can also, in old-timey stories, age upwards. You can, like, super Benjamin Button in reverse and just get fucking old as shit in, like, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can get Moses'd.
Yep.
Okay.
Methuselah.
But like this was like the third time. Like it took 3.
Yeah.
Like,
was
you
he
would-
such a good, solid man of science that the first 2 times it didn't take?
Maybe he did some more, looked into it, and he found out it was something way worse. So the third time was like, holy fuck.
Oh, that could be it.
And then
like the
super scared
secret
him?
got darker and
Yeah.
deeper.
It eventually killed him. I mean, it started off just by seeing it in the horse tongue. The second one, we don't know what the fuck happened there, but the third one got him. This ghost murdered 3
Was he
people.
using the old Ridgeway fucking house by miser fucking Ebola or whatever?
Holbein?
Holbein.
Holbein.
Was he doing like illicit surgeries in the basement?
I mean, that's a
shit that was
speculation.
uncalled for. I mean, now granted, if you were a doctor in the 1800s,
Oh, like Frankensteinish stuff.
some dark shit that would like, you know, be an affront to God and man.
Okay.
Because you could really probably do it. You could like inject heroin and cut off 14 legs, and people would just say, "Oh, it's a day at the office."
That's
if
a
you're
lot,
a doctor
wow.
in 1890s.
Okay.
That's true.
It's just
So-
there's,
right.
there's no rules. There's no malpractice back then.
It's true.
So he had to be doing some heinous ass shit. And maybe there's like a weird dark conspiracy, and maybe demonic forces were conjured. Maybe some shit happened. Maybe John Lewis, the nobleman of the county,
All right.
got too close, and fucking Dr. Cutler called upon his, you know, demonic acolyte to, you know, come forth and cyclone that fucker into a brick wall because him and his goddamn nosy superstar of a son were getting way too close to figuring out what was going on. The dressmaker. That's the thing. Because his wife had been going to him for years, Dr. Cutler's wife, and that's fine. But then the eyes started getting made, and maybe the measurements were taken a little too often and a little too intimately. Maybe the dresses hugged a little more than they ought to.
They were a
have.
little tighter.
Maybe she giggled a little too much when they mentioned the name, and he fucking knew goddamn well that dress cutter was up in his fucking wife's
Right.
shit.
Okay.
And he
So
had to
sent
fucking
the-
he sent the demon.
Dressmaker gets a tornado.
But if you send the demon out to kill twice, the third death is yours.
I mean, your cinematic explanation of this, you should re-listen to this and write this and do
So-
like a short story.
This was over 20 years, though,
Ambrose
right?
Bierce this shit. Yeah, over the course of 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. So he clearly made a pact. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
probably only for that amount of time.
Oh, okay,
so
so
it
can
just
it-
came to collect.
So 20 years of like wealth and fortune and illicit surgery, and then now it's
That's
over.
it's usually
Sorry,
it's always a
Doc.
time. Usually, it's
There
like
is.
you get this
no,
amount of
the
time, and
Faustian
then
bargain always has.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hourglass runs
yeah.
out. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, or conversely, it was just a ghost happened to murder 3 people. For what reasons we don't know. There might not be reasons. It might be just the ghost hates the living.
The dead hate the living.
The dead hate the living.
Terrible zombie film.
Yeah.
Great title.
Yeah, not great. I do appreciate your cinematic approach to it, though. Even though we may be besmirched. How do you say
Besmirched.
it? Besmirched. Yeah, I like besmirched.
Yeah.
Besmirched many a name and ruined family legacy, but it's okay. It's only a podcast.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
free.
Right.
It's
I mean,
fine.
I don't want to get body slammed by Evan Lewis, but
No.
I'm thinking he's out of prime by now.
You never know, dude.
Yeah.
They could come back.
dude, the strength of the undead.
And also, he
Especially
could
if they're
have
a
trained
wrestler.
his sons and his sons' and daughters to fucking kick my ass all
Could
over
be
the
listening
place.
to this podcast right now and be like, that's my goddamn great granddad.
Well, in all
Not-
fairness,
not that many greats, but-
I do believe John Lewis was trying to do the right thing
I
by
think so.
stabbing the ghost.
I think he
he
was-
didn't realize he was dealing with a diabolical
Yeah.
and a terrible doctor and his horrible arcane plan to, I don't know, unleash fucking the bowels of hell in Ridgeway by fucking opening a portal with body parts. You have to arrange them in just a way.
Oh, yeah. The weird,
It's geometry.
The weird pentagram with the
Hellish
severed
geometry.
legs and shit.
Yeah,
Totally.
Only with, you know, backward knees. You got to
Yeah.
re-break them.
There you
it's
go.
all fucked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Dr. Cutler was a barbarian.
All right. Wow. Wow.
Well, he clearly fucked the pooch. On
He
this
does.
one.
Oh, yeah.
well, he ended up dying,
So,
time.
unfortunately.
again, Mark, what did we learn?
I mean, don't make pacts with the devil, I guess.
There it is.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a ghost happened to murder 3 people. Or I think, you know, if we went to the skeptical route here, maybe just these 3 people met an untimely end and they were like, I got an idea. They were murdered by a ghost, you
Oh,
see?
so wait, 3 people that
Oh.
might not have been related in any way because
Yeah.
the story indicates no real relation,
Yep.
dying
Yep.
over the span of 20 years.
Yep.
is possible in your mind?
I mean,
that's what your
Without
fantasy.
a demon.
Yeah.
Without a ghost, I think maybe these
That's the stupidest thing you've ever
You're
said.
a clown.
these unfortunate people may have met an untimely end, if you will, and then somebody would just pinned on a ghost because that's what they did back in the day. They would just did crazy like, hey, I was murdered by a ghost. There you go. And fucking
What happened to that guy? I don't know.
Murdered
by a
Yeah,
ghost.
all right.
Murdered by a ghost. Don't you know about ghost murder? It's all the rage.
Oh, it
You
would have
see,
been so easy to be a cop back then.
dude, there was the flappers in the 20s, but also in the fucking 20s there was the ghost murder. It happened all the time. No one even fucking knew about it. Just everyone's like, what happened to Bob's murdered by a ghost? Like, what'd you say? Like, yeah,
Flappers,
murdered by a
breadlines,
ghost.
ghost murders.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
remember anything from social studies. It's those three things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Totes.
Thank you all so very much for joining us for the Cryptonaut podcast. Now, again, these stories that we read tonight were taken from Adam Benedict's book, Ghosts in Print, an assemblage of spirits, spooks, and specters from newspapers of old. In the description of this podcast, there will be a link to Amazon where you can purchase Adam's book. Also, too, on Amazon, you can pick up Monsters in Print. I recommend everyone pick up both of those books. And also, too, we're going to have a link to Adam's site, the Pine Barrens Institute. Be sure to check out what he's got going on over there because he has current day research for shit happening in Wisconsin, and it is fucking super awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
He's an awesome researcher and chronicler and author. He's a great dude. Good friend of the pod. So, Adam, thank you so very much for all of your hard work. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. $1 is a shout out. $5 is a shout out and the bonus audios. Thank you to everyone that supports us over there. The socials, the Instas, the Twitters, and the Facebooks. We're there. We're doing it. Jump on. See what, send us some DMs. We're always there. We're always talking. We're always interacting. Thank you to everybody over there on our Facebook fan group. Shout outs to the mods for holding that down. We appreciate everything you guys are doing over there. Mm-hmm. Before we end the show, though, Robert, we have some other shout outs to do for some super fucking awesome gifts that we got.
Fucking A, right? We do.
Why don't you do yours, and then I'm going to pull mine up.
All right, I'm very excited. All right, I want to thank Corey. Corey sent an amazing, obscure, really local printed book about a localized cryptozoological phenomenon called I have it written down here, Mysterious Sea Monsters of California's Central Coast by Randall A. Reinstead. And it's fucking awesome. In the letter, Corey mentioned that it also has some human-faced monsters, which are my personal fucking living nightmare.
We all love those.
So I want to thank Corey so much. It's got a place of pride in the collection now, and it will definitely be incorporated into some upcoming pods. And I really appreciate you taking the time to send that out. And I really, really am enjoying it. So thank you, Corey.
Yes, Corey, thank you so much. Also, too, we want to send a huge shout out to Dylan Lambert. You can check out Dylan's work actually on Etsy. The description of this podcast, I will have a link to his shop. That is the Risky Bismuth Studio. Corey sent us, he creates these really awesome, bismuth and tin figurines. He sent us these really cool Sasquatch figurines with these
awesome.
super cool fucking cases.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. And then he also sent us like for the studio the small bismuth crystal skull,
Yeah.
which is super dope. It's gonna just sit in the middle of the table and fucking be our little omen, which is super cool. And yeah, it's awesome work. It's kind of neat how tiny it is.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful,
but it has so much
craftsmanship.
detail.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
It's
free
nuts.
floating in this angular frame. It just looks awesome, and thank you so much. It's wicked. Beautiful craftsmanship.
Totally. And again, that is the Risky Bismuth Studio. The link will be in the description of this podcast. Thank you to everyone that sends us the gifts, especially, the ones that we just received here from Dylan and Corey. It's awesome when we get mail.
Oh, we love it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it all goes to our buddy's shop, and he's like, hey, you got mail? I'm like, oh, cool, more spooky shit. And I get to run down there and grab it. It's super cool. So thank you to everyone for all the gifts. And again, Corey and Dylan, thank you so very much. I think that's the outro. That's it. We covered everything.
Yeah, definitely.
We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it. So, we're talking right now about October, about maybe having a theme month possibly. We're going to see what we can do. We're talking possible folklore stuff here, so I want the good listeners out there shoot us some ideas for some things we could possibly cover.
Yeah, and if we don't actually end up covering them, because obviously there's only 4 weeks.
We got 4 weeks to try to
Give or
cram.
take. It doesn't
a bunch
mean
of
that
stuff.
it won't get incorporated at some point in the future.
And I have a list that I've been keeping close to my chest here and bugging Rob about.
Yeah, since
So-
literally the first day we started.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Mark might finally get one.
You
might.
You might get 2.
Oh, am I gonna get 2?
shit.
You might get 2.
Shit, I wonder if I can go for the full 4. No,
Hey,
we gotta
whoa,
we
come
gotta
on
give
now.
one. Chris has to get one too.
Oh yeah, Chris gives all the fucks. Yeah, his great archive of folkloric traditions in the continental and world states, the states of the world.
Chris is a man who's full of
I
folklore.
gotta tell you, if Evan Lewis is known somewhere for being able to wrestle the fuck out of a man,
Right.
Chris knows a legend about that place.
There you go.
That's the one thing I know is a fact in this world.
That's true.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you all so very much, and we're talking to you soon.
Goodbye.
See ya.